Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to WNBA Trending. I'm Ava, and tonight's top story comes from the heart of the WNBA playoffs, where drama continues to swirl around the Indiana Fever. Their rookie sensation, Caitlyn Clark, finds herself at the center of controversy after receiving disciplinary action from the league. But what has truly caught the attention of fans is the reaction of her teammate, Kelsey Mitchell, who has stepped forward with strong words and heartfelt support. The Fever's playoff run was already filled with high-stakes, emotional matchups, and the pressure of expectations placed on one of the league's most-watched players, Caitlyn Clark. However, when news broke that Clark had been disciplined by the WNBA following an on-court incident, the entire narrative of the postseason seemed to shift. The punishment stemmed from a heated moment during Game 2 of the Fever's playoff series, when Clark, frustrated by aggressive defense and repeated physicality, was assessed a flagrant foul after retaliating against an opposing player. The league later reviewed the play and issued a fine along with a formal warning. For a player who has drawn as much attention as Clark, both celebrated and criticized, the decision sparked immediate debate among fans, analysts, and even former players. And right in the middle of this conversation is Kelsey Mitchell. A veteran guard who has been with the Indiana Fever since 2018, Mitchell is no stranger to adversity, rebuilding seasons, and the grind of trying to re-establish the Fever as contenders. But her comments regarding Clark's punishment were striking, not just because of her defense of her teammate, but also because of the perspective she brought as a leader on this team. Speaking to reporters after the ruling, Mitchell didn't hold back. She emphasized that Clark is under an unprecedented microscope, facing a level of scrutiny unlike anyone else in the league. "People forget she's still a rookie," Mitchell said. "She's learning the game, she's adjusting to the physicality, and every single move she makes is being dissected." That's not an easy position to be in, especially when you're also carrying the weight of an entire fanbase and media machine on your back. Mitchell went on to suggest that Clark's punishment, while technically within the rules, reflects the broader tension around how the league is handling her meteoric rise. "I'm not saying players shouldn't be held accountable," Mitchell added. "But the standard feels different when it comes to Caitlyn. And we need to make sure we're not putting her in a position where she feels like she has to be perfect every single time she steps on the court." Her words quickly spread across social media, with fans praising Mitchell for standing up for her teammate. Many pointed out that Mitchell, known for her quiet demeanor and focus on her own game, rarely speaks out on controversies. For her to address this situation so directly shows both the closeness of the Fever locker room and the larger cultural spotlight surrounding Caitlyn Clark. The Fever's head coach also weighed in, expressing disappointment in the league's decision but praising Clark for how she has handled the situation. "Caitlyn is tough," the coach said. "She's not someone who runs from challenges. If anything, this will motivate her to be even more focused. But it's important that she knows she has the support of her team." For Kelsey Mitchell, this moment also carries personal significance. For years, she has been the backbone of Indiana's offense, often overlooked on a national scale despite her scoring ability and consistency. Now, with Clark's arrival, Mitchell has found herself in the dual role of both co-star and mentor. While some might see Clark's massive popularity as overshadowing her veteran teammate, Mitchell has repeatedly demonstrated her willingness to embrace this new era for the Fever. Her reaction to Clark's punishment highlights that commitment once again. Inside the locker room, sources say the team has rallied around Clark, with Mitchell being one of the most vocal supporters. That sense of unity could prove critical as Indiana tries to regroup and refocus for the next game in their playoff series. After all, the Fever are not just trying to prove themselves on the court, they're also working to manage the immense off-court attention that comes with being the team of Caitlyn Clark. Across the WNBA, reactions to Clark's punishment have been mixed. Some players and analysts argue that the ruling was fair, pointing out that retaliation of any kind cannot be overlooked in the postseason. Others believe the league may be sending the wrong message by punishing Clark more harshly because of her visibility. Regardless of where fans fall in the debate, one thing is clear. Caitlyn Clark continues to be the defining figure of this WNBA season. And while her punishment might have been the headline, it is Kelsey Mitchell's response that has given the story its deeper meaning. By defending her teammate while also calling attention to the larger pressures Clark faces, Mitchell has sparked an important conversation about fairness, accountability, and the responsibilities of stardom. This moment also underscores the evolution of the Indiana Fever. For years, the team has struggled near the bottom of the standings, fighting for relevance. Now, with Clark energizing the fanbase and veterans like Mitchell guiding the locker room, the Fever have become one of the most talked-about franchises in the league. It's a shift that has brought excitement, but also the kind of scrutiny that can test even the strongest players. The Fever will return to the court later this week, with Clark expected to play despite the recent controversy. All eyes will be on her performance. Will she respond with the poise and determination fans have come to expect, or will the weight of the spotlight take its toll? One thing is certain, she won't be facing it alone. With Kelsey Mitchell and the rest of her teammates behind her, Clark has a strong foundation of support, both on and off the court. As Mitchell concluded in her comments, "We're in this together. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. And as a team, we're not going to let this define who we are. Caitlyn is family, and family stands up for each other." Those words capture not just the story of Clark's punishment, but also the spirit of a Fever team that refuses to be divided by controversy. Instead, they are choosing to unite, to fight, and to continue their quest for playoff glory. So, as the WNBA playoffs roll on, fans will be watching closely, not just to see how Caitlyn Clark responds to this challenge, but also how the Fever, as a team, turn adversity into opportunity. And with leaders like Kelsey Mitchell guiding the way, Indiana just might have the resilience to surprise the league once again. That's our top story tonight on WNBA Trending. Stay tuned for more updates as the Fever continue their playoff journey. I'm Ava, and this is your source for everything WNBA.